There. Want to wave at the camera?
I can even see Jack twice now.
Oh, that's always, it's funny. And it's like weird because I have this projected on the big screen, so now I can see myself twice.
Today we're going to talk about 4 different organizations.
Me da mucho gusto estar aquí.
In 3 places. And how they work towards one goal of producing
I want to tell you about this little boy, Chap. He was my friend, a sweet 5-year-old boy I met when I was living in the mountain village. At first, when I arrived, I wasn't able to communicate with the women because my knowledge of Tzotzil, their Mayan language, was very rudimentary. So I played a lot with the children. Chap and I became good friends. We would play with sticks and stones on the ground, pretending they were trucks going through the mountains. We would walk hand in hand around the village. Chap came down with whooping cough, an illness that sweeps through the villages every year, killing hundreds of children. Because they are so malnourished, they can't fight the disease, and they're not vaccinated because vaccines don't get to their community. The local healer, the shaman, did his work, but Chap continued going downhill. He was barely eating, and everyone was expecting him to die. In a rare move, the family decided to take him to the doctor in town. Mayan people don't like or trust doctors because the doctors usually look down upon them and disrespect them, yelling at them for not taking care of their kids. However, these doctors have never set foot in a Mayan community to understand the challenges that people face. So Chap's parents decided to bring him into town, and there was not much the doctor could do at that point except putting him in the hospital, which the family refused. They wanted him to die at home. By then, I was living with my children in town, about 1 hour away from the village. That day, after they left the doctor in town, Chap and his mother came to visit me, and I had a pot of chicken soup on the stove, just by coincidence. I gave Chap a bowl, and he gobbled it down, and then another and another. We were all amazed because he hadn't been eating at all. The good old chicken soup worked its magic. Unexpectedly, Chap began to recover and got well. Mayan children have a tenuous hold on life. Families go through great sorrow time and time again as their children succumb to common and curable diseases. The national discourse describes Mayan people as lazy, ignorant, and backwards. Our central mission of Mayan hands is to find markets for their handcrafted goods. We always say that there is nothing as compelling and earth-shaking as the dignity that comes from work. The artisans are ecstatic that they can work at home, continue weaving with their ancient weaving tool, and they can sell their carefully crafted items and receive a fair income that helps them sustain their families. A small but regular income they get every month has given them more control over their lives. They know what they'll be able to count on. The women now have a voice in their cooperatives and in their communities. A cash contribution to their family has empowered them and given them leverage. We also have workshops in gender and organizational issues, how cooperatives work, democracy, stuff like that. And those have been very successful.
So what does the Maya Health Alliance say about it?
So our mission and vision, our mission is innovating a healthcare model focused on providing high-quality services with linguistic and cultural competence for indigenous rural communities in Guatemala. And our vision is a future in which it will never be necessary to choose between cultural priorities and health or social status priorities. The challenge that we face is that Guatemala is one of the most unequal nations in the world, and Indigenous Maya are the most affected, especially Indigenous women and children.
So why is the education of the Mayan languages important in the community? And why is the preservation and education of a seemingly dying language a priority?
Importancia chinti sakmolo, kan sushikri y después kan ushiyari sakmolo kan ronopartir y kan hanina stone chindi acual su stelpa desnutrición crónica en kayachga chekari ter su beqekin taqrish kayari clases chin nutrición kan suben kikini tirar kikini du familia su kan renojel ri consejos ri nutricionales chica suben para chochri kikini halajok recetas tuqari kinere yari te su tu halajok ri mas hasta chuech ya nukutuhri chin kanakachech que modo no andi halakokri tu comidas ya takri di su chop su ori desnutrición crónica moderada en cambiaste ya tak is pan di selken pa programa diha diru palen normal diru peso ka uts pan diru narer kwan.
As we move a little more north up to Mexico, let's see how technology works to preserve languages and to help the communities of Yagavila with Kiado Cruz and his organization, Circo.
Padiush, Igotele. Bueno, yo soy Kiado Cruz, soy zapoteco de la Sierra Norte de Oaxaca. Pues nací en una comunidad que se llama Santa Cruz Yagavila, hace no muchos años, pero sí he estado viviendo ahí crecí y justo hace como unos años me moví de ahí para estar en la ciudad, ¿no? Y ahora estoy entre la ciudad y la comunidad de Yagavila. Quiero decir que 3 puntos para cerrar esta conversación, ¿no? Uno es la apropiación de los derechos, la apropiación de los derechos por las comunidades y pueblos indígenas está avanzando, ¿no? En la implementación de los derechos reconocidos por México y también firmados por México, ¿no? En los últimos 20 años de legislación en materia indígena. También quiero decir situar a los pueblos indígenas como sujetos de derecho. En ese sentido, buscar hacer efectivo el ejercicio de los derechos digitales, ¿no? El de acceso a la información en relación con los derechos lingüísticos y en general los derechos de los pueblos y comunidades indígenas en México, ¿no? Otro punto es la apropiación tecnológica. Buscar transferir conocimientos a los usuarios de dispositivos técnicos, ¿no? O tecnológicos y herramientas digitales para apropiarse de sus entornos. ¿Y qué quiero decir esto? Es el uso y la apropiación de la tecnología. Los pueblos indígenas tenemos esa posibilidad de apropiarnos de la tecnología, ¿no? No haciendo nuestras propias computadoras, pero sí podemos entender su lenguaje y podemos darle otra posibilidad a este dispositivo, ¿no? Eso consiste en el uso adecuado, oportuno, pertinente y eficiente de la tecnología, con el fin de facilitar la realización de actividades, el desarrollo de procesos, ¿no? Y la generación de conocimientos comunitarios en un contexto global. Y tercer punto que quiero situar aquí es la justicia lingüística. ¿no? Como dije, nuestra lengua ha sido discriminada, muchos ya no lo hablamos porque también por la discriminación que vivieron nuestros antepasados, ¿no? Entonces tratamos de situar las lenguas indígenas en medio del ejercicio de los derechos lingüísticos, ¿no? Derechos digitales, ¿no? De la información pública, ¿no? Pero esto nos va a permitir desplegar una estrategia de largo plazo en términos de democratización del Internet, como también ya lo dije, ¿no? Creemos que el acceso lingüístico integral es una parte fundamental de una sociedad justa y equitativa, ¿no? Si no accedemos en nuestra lengua a un conocimiento que está fuera de nuestro alcance, pues me parece que no es equitativo, ¿no? No es productivo para nosotros, ¿no? Y creo que el acceso al conocimiento permite que todas las personas participen plenamente en asuntos de interés público, ¿no? Ya sea a nivel nacional o a nivel internacional. Todas las personas tenemos derecho de recibir información y ser respetados en nuestros idiomas, ¿no? Creo que eso es un punto muy importante. Finalmente, quiero decir que se busca generar conocimiento en y desde el pueblo zapoteco y otras lenguas, como también reproducir conocimientos de otros mundos y otras lenguas, ¿no? Como dije al principio, se olvida preparar jóvenes que sean capaces en el mundo global que nos atraviesa, creando mundos vivificantes en entornos comunitarios, ¿no? Con un ingrediente importante, revitalizar la lengua en cualquier espacio que nos toque o decidan hacer su vida. Y finalmente quiero apuntar esta idea, ¿no? Que es crear una comunidad amplia, una red de relaciones de personas y dispositivos interconectados en un mundo globalizado, ¿no? Ahí radica la idea de la educación bilingüe desde la educación común.
Hi, so my name is Ng Ee. I'm come from China. I'm really curious about your community. Because I think there are too many students come from different places and territories, and they are speaking different languages. So I'm curious about that. Are there some cultural difference in the context of the different languages, or would it be difficult in community science research because of the different languages and the cultures?
Gracias, Michi, algo así, sí hay diferencias culturales entre los 68 pueblos indígenas que hay en México, son muchos pueblos indígenas. Entonces, hay muchas diferencias entre las lenguas y también las formas de vida de los pueblos que son diferentes. Pero hay una forma en la que creo que se pueden entender ellos mismos. Es la forma que podemos decir que son pueblos que comparten ciertas ideas y modos de vida. Culturalmente son diferentes, pero comparten una idea y modo de vida diferente. Entonces, y ahí en términos de ciencia y tecnología, yo creo que no hay un problema para de desarrollo tecnológico o de adaptarse a la tecnología o de hacer uso de la tecnología, sino más bien creo que necesitamos encontrar una metodología o una pedagogía específica que pueda insertar este mecanismo, esta dinámica dentro de las comunidades con sus diferencias culturales y con sus percepciones de modos de vida diferentes.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
Gracias también.
Mujeres, Avanzando, we are a community-based nonprofit in Dorchester. The program was established in 1979. I love this picture because it shows pretty much the heart of our mission. This is a group of our students about 10 years ago receiving their high school equivalency diplomas at our end of year celebration. But what I really love about this picture is that this woman here in the front went on to work at MUA after she got her high school equivalency with us. She was our daycare director up until COVID. Our daycare has been suspended. I'll get to that. But so it really just shows the connection MUA has to the community and how our students will come to us for their education. Then a lot of them stay for employment, or they refer other friends and family. So it really has a small nonprofit community feel. Very brief history of MUA. The program started in 1979, like I said, by a group of volunteers. They were actually, from what I've been told, I wasn't here in 1979, but from what I've been told, they were actually going door to door in Fields Corner, Dorchester, to low-income housing complexes and apartments to install insulation for the upcoming winter. And what they discovered, it was a church group, I believe. What they discovered was there were so many immigrants living in the neighborhood with very limited English access, very limited opportunities for employment. Many were women, many were single mothers who were very isolated without the English and the education skills to really integrate themselves into the communities. And so the shift of the program, or the shift of the volunteering, really changed into providing classes and services to support these women. And now 40 years later, here we are. So we're still in Dorchester. We're right in Fields Corner. This is our building. We have been mostly on Zoom for the last 2 years, but I'm in the building today. And this is just our mission straight off our website, but it really is to provide low-income Latina girls, women, and other English language learners the tools and resources necessary. So our focus is on education, but we do provide, or we try to provide, as many social services and other supports that our students need so that they can obtain that education, because there are so many barriers to being able to continue on to college or to a training program or to achieve a high school diploma. And so we understand that education doesn't happen in a vacuum. So if we can help our students address some of those barriers, we do it. If not, we have a really strong network of other organizations in the Boston area that can help with things like housing or immigration status issues or access to heat or technology. Internet access has been huge in the last 2 years. So we're small, like I said, we're about 14 staff members. Usually we have an AmeriCorps service member, other service learning students, interns, and volunteers. And our students primarily come from Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan, but now that we've been on Zoom for 2 years, we've seen students from other neighborhoods in Boston, but also the greater Boston area. We've limited enrollment still to Massachusetts, but with Zoom, we've been able to have a wider network. And we serve about 300 families a year. Our students are primarily from the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. I'd say that's probably 80% of our students, but of our Spanish-speaking students, after the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, we have a growing number of students from Central America, Guatemala and Honduras, big two. And our students are not all Spanish speaking. With the name of the program and the history of the program, most of our students are Spanish speaking, but our English classes, which I'll get to, are open to immigrants or students of any language background. So of our non-Spanish speaking students, we have a growing number of women from Afghanistan, Vietnam, the neighborhood where we're located, very Vietnamese, and Cape Verde, Haiti, but probably 97% are Spanish speaking. And again, the name of the program, Mujeres Avanzando, Women United Advancing. Historically, our program has been open to women and girls, but in 2018, we started a night program, which is also open to men. So that's been an exciting addition. And
besides having a positive effect on the people that they already help, these Latin American organizations have also shown to have impacted students at UMass Boston. Ng Ee says, I think one of the strategies that I find most useful and interesting is that Surco finds a specific teaching method to intersperse with the dynamic mechanism of the current community. For Nicole Perdomo, it is a personal experience. I've seen my mom struggle to try and find a job to support the both of us. However, she does not have her high school diploma in the US, so it is hard for her to be able to find jobs that she may actually enjoy. I'm glad to see that this community, Mujeres Unidas Avanzando, is so local, and I can't wait to tell my mom about it to see if she may be interested in joining. And that's it! Special shout out to the 4 organizations and the speakers. Lily Aju for the Cachiquel Maya translation, the UMass Boston College of Liberal Arts Pedagogical Innovation Award, and Native American and Indigenous Studies program, Professor Ng taught. This video was created on Kapling. I'm your video host, producer, and editor, Ng Ee Pfen, and thank you for tuning in to Agency in the Face of Adversity.